Hi Founder fans, Jason here, and today we're interviewing John Adams of the Liberty Cigar Company down in Atlanta, Georgia. And what Mr. Adams is doing is very interesting. He's using tobacco, which is one of those cash crops that helped build the United States, and he's using it to help tell the story of American history. And he has several series of cigars, but today I asked him mostly about his Founders series of 13 cigars named after 13 different founders. I'm questioning him on exactly why or how he chose these specific founders and how he went about the process of determining what the American revolutionaries should taste like. Enjoy. Thank you for joining us. Let's start with the beginning. Where is your company located and how long have you been making cigars?
We've been making cigars for since 2015 is when we put our first cigars together. We launched in 2015 and we're based in Atlanta, Georgia.
Excellent. Now, Liberty Cigar Co., how did you come up with a name like that?
Well, that's a good question. I've been a huge fan of the American history for forever, since the 5th grade. I'm a little bit older than you, but about that time is when the bicentennial occurred, and it's interesting to me anyway that my teachers actually had us write the full Declaration of Independence on a special paper that they had, and then they doused it in lemon juice and put it over a flame and gave us this really neat parchment-like copy of the Declaration of Independence. And I remember every word nearly from that time. And so it was just, I had a great teacher in the 5th grade, and I just think our message, really, our mission is to tell America's magnificent story. And doing it through a leisure activity like a cigar is just the perfect way to do it. And there's no greater concept than liberty, more innate to the human condition. So.
Well, I appreciate that. That is certainly a fantastic exercise. I'll have to remember that when my kids get a little bit older.
Oh, sure, yeah. Do it now. It doesn't matter. They can handle it.
That's true. Well, we'll see. One of them can't really walk yet, so I don't know if he's ready for it. But
oh well, you got some a little time there. That's good.
So let me ask you: you have a variety of series of cigars you run. I'm particularly curious about the Founders series, where you have the 13 cigars with 13 founders, and I'm very curious: what came first, the flavor of the cigar that you match to a founder, or a founder that you match to a flavor of cigar?
Well, what I did. The process it wasn't that complicated, but it took a little bit of time. I wrote 100 different bios about all the founding fathers, and just as an exercise to do that. Then I boiled down their sort of personalities, if you will, to 3 distinct words, which you can see on the website. And then I went to a friend of mine, Juan Carlos Jimenez. He makes the cigars. He owns a factory in the Dominican Republic, and he actually match the blends to the personality of the one that we are honoring in the series, or all the series, in fact. So every cigar actually mirrors the personality of the one that we're honoring.
Interesting. And you had narrowed it down to 13 founders before you chose the flavors then?
Yes. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
There's the Founder series if you haven't seen it. And I wanted to show you an example of it, if you would like, if I'm not taking you too far out of your.
Oh, please do. Well, you already answered my next question, which was going to be, how did you choose the founders? But apparently you chose them based on personality.
Well, I chose them. This is the Founder series box, and if you look, this is the George Washington, and of course he had to be big and bold. And to tell his story, you can see, I can't match it up here, but to tell his story, you have to have 3 hours to smoke that cigar. So he's big and audacious. The Ligero leaf is the top leaves. It's the sun-drenched leaves. It's grown in the Central America and the jet black volcanic soil. He was exposed to the elements in the same way. The broadleaf binder is violently harvested. It's a thick, tough leaf that gives us a very muscular sort of leather flavor. So each one of the cigars actually matches their personality. Here's the Madison. He was diminutive in size, as you probably well know. He's 5'3" or so, weighed 100 pounds. He gets a little Robusto, and a Robusto is actually a nice, flavorful cigar. It matches his mild disposition, though. It's got a wonderful Connecticut shade wrapper. So it kind of sneaks up on you. It's a very mild cigar, but it's got a really complex body like he did, in mind, I should say. So here's the Sam Adams. I had to give him a torpedo. He and his brother, or cousin John, rather. The torpedo actually represents them as sort of the fearless and relentless founders. I gave him a dark, rich Brazilian wrapper that actually has a really nice leather, sort of wonderful, deep flavor to it, just as he had in his personality. So that's how we do it. I can't know if you can see that or not.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. We can see just fine. Thank you. I am a little bit at a loss of what to ask you next. That's
I'm sorry.
extraordinary. No, it's fabulous. I actually noticed that one of your cigars was a James Otis.
Yes.
How did you come to him? Because he passes away, or I shouldn't say pass away. He kind of loses his forgive me. I can't think of the word. His
faculties.
Yeah, his faculties. Thank you. I'm trying to be polite about it. He loses.
Oh no, sure, yeah. Well, actually, I just love James Otis because he was the early thinker in the Revolution. And after the Stamp Act came out, he argued against not only that but the Quartering Act, all the intolerable acts, and he gave the first sort of language to John Adams, Sam Adams. He was sort of the elder statesman of the Sons of Liberty, and he's an interesting man. Obviously, he had a run-in with some British soldiers in a tavern and got beaten pretty badly. And there are people that would argue that his mind was already going, but certainly the beating on the head did not help. But he would tell anybody that would listen later on in his life that God was going to strike him down in some spectacular way. And sure enough, he was actually in a friend of his house one day, and a bolt of lightning came down and took him out. So he was true to his word, not only in the Revolution, but also in the manner of his spectacular death. So he's a very interesting fellow. And I gave him a very complex cigar. There's 6 different tobaccos in there, simply because he had a really layers of depth to him that are not very well known. So we gave him we also gave him a torpedo because he was quite the rambunctious one as well. So that James Otis is really one of my favorites.
Thank you for pointing that out. That's precisely why I noticed that name out of all the ones on the list.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Good. No. So just to close up, I always like to ask, and we've kind of gone over James Otis already, but are there any other American founders that you wish had a little bit more attention, either in the popular dialects or even in us nerdy American Revolution circles?
You know, I would say, this may surprise you, but I think one of the unsung founding fathers is not a father at all. It was a founding mother. And Abigail Adams is just such an extraordinary woman. I mean, the type of woman she was, it cannot be understated. Obviously, she and John Adams wrote, there's an extensive volume of their writings to one another, and that you can see her intellect and her charisma and her sort of playfulness, along with her serious, sort of policy sort of musings in their letters. But she was the kind of woman that she homeschooled her kids, as many did, obviously back in those days. But at the age of 10, she had the courage to send little Johnny, John Quincy Adams, as we know him, across the most dangerous ocean in the world to with her husband and his father to Europe when he was minister to France, and risked his life literally to give him an education. And that just shows the depth and the courage of Abigail Adams. I'm a huge fan of hers, and I just love the interplay between the two of them, and how she grounded him and kept his passion sort of funneled, and it was really extraordinary. So I hope I didn't not answer your question the right way, but I wanted to tell you that would be my unsung hero of evolution.
Absolutely. Well, that's why I go to great lengths to call them founders and not founding fathers, because there were so many founders involved in creating it. Abigail Adams is a perfect answer, exactly the type of thing I was looking for.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah. So thank you so much, and thank you for finding a way to use a product like tobacco to bring American history to more people. So we appreciate you coming. You are a wealth of knowledge. Hopefully we have you back to talk a little bit more sometime in the future.
Oh, sure. Well, the tobacco was actually the engine that founded the country. Were it not for that, there would not be an American country as we know it. So it seemed perfectly fitting for me. But thank you. I appreciate your time.
I sure hope you enjoyed that video. I know I did. As an amateur cigar smoker, I learned a tremendous amount from Mr. Adams. And even if you're not a cigar smoker, check out the link below for his website, because he has a ton of information about the American Revolution on there explaining each cigar. So even if you're not a cigar smoker, you will find it a lot of fun. And I'm sure you know a cigar smoker who you might be able to get a nice treat for. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe. We have new interviews every Thursday and new videos 5 days a week. Thank you again. And I will be back with a new founder tomorrow.